Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Brianne Callanan here. We are going to be talking today all about estrogen dominance. What are the signs? What are the symptoms? What are the long-term consequences? And what are things that you can do with your diet and with your lifestyle today to help lower the amount of estrogen that you have in your body if you're suffering from estrogen dominance? And 75 to 80% of women over the age of 35 are. So what is estrogen? Estrogen is the hormone that is responsible for women's breast tissue as well as weight around the hips. It's also really important for our more feminine qualities. And men have estrogen too, just in lower amounts, especially lower in relation to testosterone. Now, what are the symptoms of estrogen excess or estrogen overload? One of the most common symptoms that I see is the resistance to weight loss. In addition, we see mood changes like anxiety, depression, irritability, or just going off the handle or becoming more irritated than normal. It is also responsible for fibrocystic breast changes, as well as breast pain, endometriosis, heavy cycles, PMS. Those can all be signs and symptoms of estrogen dominance, in addition to atypia or abnormal pap smears. That can also be a sign of estrogen dominance in the body. Now let's talk about the risk factors for developing estrogen dominance. Number one is going to be your birth certificate. If you are a woman over the age of 35, chances are you are suffering from estrogen dominance. It is estimated that 75 to 80% of women over the age of 35 have estrogen dominance. And why is that? That is because as we age around the age of 30 to 35, we are going to be having lower ovarian reserves or less eggs. And what this happens is our body produces less progesterone. And we need to talk about estrogen in relation to progesterone. They are like tango partners or dance partners. If progesterone is low, it's going to appear that we have a relative estrogen excess. Even if our estrogen levels are normal, if we have too low of progesterone, that is going to look like an estrogen dominance in our bodies. So it's really important that we have adequate levels of progesterone and adequate levels of estrogen, and that they work in harmony with one another. Estrogen, the first half of our menstrual cycle, is responsible for the growth of the uterine lining, and estrogen is going to be higher. In the second half of the cycle, progesterone is really important for helping to maintain that lining, as well as allowing that lining to disappear as we go on to our next cycle if that egg has not been fertilized. So they both work in harmony together, and they both need to be in adequate amounts so that our bodies can optimally function. And lastly, the part of the video you've probably been dying to hear: what can I do to fix this? Just tell me what I can do with my diet and nutrition, and I am willing to do it. A lot of you feel that way if you're suffering from estrogen dominance, because it's more than a nuisance. It is a risk factor for those cancers we talked about, and it's really important that we get this under control. So what can you do to fix this? Number one, consume cruciferous vegetables. Those are things like broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, bok choy. Those are the things that are going to contain a component called I3C, indole 3-carbinol. This is so important at helping your body detoxify these hormones and adding the fiber so that these hormones can be eliminated through your bowels. That goes on to our second point, making sure you are getting 30 to 40 grams of fiber each and every day. Hormones are eliminated through our bowels, and if you're not having at least one adequate bowel movement per day, they are being recycled, and that's not what we want. Number three, get rid of your plastic water bottle. Try not to put foods in plastics either. Please don't heat your plastics up in the microwave. Try not to wash them in the dishwasher. The less plastics you can have in your diet, the less you're going to be exposed to those outside estrogens. Our bodies are also exposed to excess outside estrogens from our personal care products, the skincare we use. We are putting so many toxins on our skin each and every day. So look for clean skincare. Try to find clean cleaning products and shampoos and conditioners. The less you can expose your body to those outside estrogens, the easier it's going to be for your body to detoxify and eliminate them. That moves on to our next point. How can we help our liver detoxify these hormones? Number one, we can make sure we're having strong liver health. So you can look into bitter foods. Those will really help your liver. There are certain herbs that can help detoxify key nutrients in your diet. We can spend a whole nother video talking about the nutrients that your body needs to detoxify. But one of the at-home things you can do, and I wrote about this on my blog at briannecallanan.com, is a castor oil pack. So what that means is you are just applying castor oil that you can get at the health food store, or even Shoppers Drug Mart will sell it. Apply castor oil, preferably a castor oil that comes in a glass container. Apply it overall, all to your abdomen, over your liver, over your whole abdomen, and then put on an old t-shirt and go to bed. The warmth of you sleeping will help that castor oil really soak in. It's going to help improve your liver health. It is highly anti-inflammatory. It's really great for supporting your liver. In addition to that, we need to be watching the amount of alcohol we're bombarding our livers with. We want our livers to be functioning optimally, and alcohol not only negatively impacts your liver, it also raises your estrogen levels and it raises your cortisol. And what we talked about before is cortisol is going to reduce your progesterone. So it looks like that overall relative estrogen excess, which is not something that we want in our body. And I'm not saying to never drink alcohol. It's just, especially if you have estrogen dominance, let's take out that alcohol until you get it under control. And then you can go back into having your glass of wine on the weekends if that's what you enjoy. We also want to be increasing the amounts of fish and shellfish, those healthy omega anti-inflammatory oils in our diet, and eliminating or at least pulling back a little bit on red meat is going to be important for you, even if it's quality sourced. A lot of the times this is going to be contributing to estrogen dominance, and that's why at the end of the Wild Side Wellness, if you still feel that you have these symptoms of estrogen excess, I'm going to give you a 3-day cleanse. It's meatless, actually. It includes some fish, and that's going to really help you to lower that last bit of estrogen if you still feel you have that in your body. Also, weight loss. Fat cells are metabolically active and they're going to produce more estrogens just in themselves. So the less fat you have, the less estrogens you are going to have in your body. And that only not pertains to women, but also to men. So men, if you have a lot of extra fat tissue, you're going to also have higher levels of estrogens in your body. Finally, I want to talk to you about the gut. So we talked about the liver being important, but the gut is also really important. And there's some fascinating research that's coming out now that is suggesting that it's not just the connection between our brain and the organ systems that are producing the hormones, but our gut really has a big impact, and the amount of bacteria and the types of bacteria you have in your gut can really change the way that your body is producing hormones and change the way that your body is utilizing these hormones. So that's really fascinating and something that's becoming more and more popular today. So what I do is I take a probiotic daily, and in addition to a probiotic, the last point I want to talk about is I take curcumin. Curcumin is the active component in turmeric. You can also just add turmeric to soups, salads, chicken, whatever you want to add turmeric to, just add it. That is highly anti-inflammatory, and it's going to help get rid of that extra estrogen in your bodies. And I notice a big difference when I add curcumin in every single day to the amount of weight that I'm storing on my hips, as well as in the area between the buttocks and the hamstrings. So that is really exciting. You can also add turmeric to a cup of hot water with some ginger, a little bit of pepper, and cinnamon. I'll post that recipe below. That is my favorite turmeric kind of latte drink that I will drink that's highly anti-inflammatory. I've also done another video on a morning kind of metabolism boosting drink that you can drink with turmeric in it, and that's a fantastic recipe as well. So I hope that was helpful. If you found this video interesting, helpful in any ways, make sure to give it a thumbs up and never forget to subscribe to my channel, and definitely leave a comment below about your thoughts. I love reading your comments, and the more that we interact, the more I can do videos that pertain specifically to you. So have a great night, guys.